We'll stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, will you lead us in a prayer?
Sure, if everyone would please bow their heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank and praise you for the gift of life and the gift of being able to serve you. And we pray this evening that you watch over the activities of this meeting, that they may be pleasing for you. Pray that you watch over our citizens and all those that are dealing with this cold weather, that we can get through it safely. In your name we pray. Amen.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have the reading and approval of the minutes from the February 1st meeting.
Make a motion to forego the reading of the minutes and approve them.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Approval of the agenda.
You said under 6A, we'll put Parks and Rec irrigation well.
Okay, under 6A, it's going to be Parks and Rec irrigation.
And
Move
with
to approve the agenda.
Okay,
that, I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Consultation with engineers, bond refinance.
Am I good?
You're good.
Thank you, guys. Since the engineers are here, I won't take very much time. We all understand how that works. Really what I'm here is just, there's no board action required tonight of anything. I'm just here to explain what I proposed to Monty. And I see that you may have seen some of the numbers at your last meeting. And this is the 2014 special assessment bond issue that we did worked with the city on in 2014. It's the same as refinancing your home. We're really looking at historical interest rates yet in the bond market. And the remaining maturity on the 2014, we would be refunding 2% off to 4% coupons. And my solution is estimating a 1.19 interest rate. So that's what generates the savings. On an annual basis, your payment would be lower if you decide to go forward. In the future value savings, we estimated in this solution at $106,000 to the city. So you'd be paying $106,000 less than you're paying right now if you go forward. That's after all the costs are involved, underwriters discount and bond counsel. You're working with the same group you worked with on the 14 issue. Ernst & Stewart, Scott Wagner would do the bond counsel work for you and the tax exempt opinion. I'm now Colliers. At that time we were Doherty, just a name change. It happens all the time. I've had 3 names in 20 years or more. So it happens. And we just got merged with a larger company. And I can go ahead with this and be back to you guys late March or April meeting with the refunding if you decide to go ahead. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. It's as simple as that. Right now there's no binding agreements. Actually, if you authorize me to go forward with the bond issue, and I come to you with a solution that doesn't generate savings that you don't approve on that evening, you can tell me to go away, and I go away, and there's no cost to the city. It's our incentive to make sure that the refundings happen close to the numbers we're estimating now, so that you guys approve it, or else we don't get paid. And that's just, there's no risk to the city either.
Okay. And we don't need a motion on any of this? There's
No, I think maybe bond council will send up a resolution authorizing Colliers and Ernst & Stewart Wagner to move forward with the bond sale maybe for your next meeting. And the meeting after that, hopefully I'll have the bonds priced and we can move forward with a resolution authorizing the sale. So 2 more meetings to get it all done, really.
I can get on with Scott tomorrow.
Sound right, Bonnie?
okay.
But if there's questions, I'm really just here to explain. We're doing it all the time, as you know, right now, so it's quick and easy. Go ahead.
So then I guess, like you said, I guess a 2% buyback, is that
You're
back to the
Your existing
Wow.
coupons are 2% out to 4%. We're not extending the maturity of the new issue. It will be paid off the same year it would be paid off if you didn't do anything. And those are the 2 to 4% coupons. And I have a 1.19 estimate of average rate moving forward to generate the savings with the low interest rates. You might be referring to in the solution that Monty sent around, he said the principal and interest schedule shows a 2% coupon. That's what it is.
Okay.
But if you notice up there, there's also a reoffering premium. When you factor the reoffering premium into the 2% coupons, it comes down to the 1.19. And that's because we can sell the bonds at a premium. And it's sort of confusing, but it's what you're paying on your yield, not your coupon that generates your savings. And the yield is determined by the amount of the premium that we estimate an underwriter will accept. So these are all sort of moving targets, but we're real close in the market. So yeah, in the bond market, if there's a 2% coupon and you're paying 2% and you're receiving 2%, it's a par bond. But you may see a 2% coupon sold at a discount, in which case the yield would be higher. And if it's a 2% coupon sold at a premium, the yield will be lower, and you're receiving the lower yield. Just how it's just marketing. You and I don't care. What matters is the 1.19.
Yeah.
Pat, do we as a city have any kind of requirement to publish this out, and or can you just enter into an agreement to refinance without?
Yes. And as Scott will explain now when he sends the sale resolution, I'm sure, for the next meeting, but no public, it's already done, you're just lowering interest rates, so.
Did you?
The city has a newer loan too, through the Bank of North Dakota's Infrastructure Revolving Loan Fund, at 2% interest. Does that make sense at this time too?
Was it for water?
Streets.
Yes, for streets.
2018 or 2019, brand new.
2017 actually was the note, yeah.
I did just clean up 3 of those for Oaks last week. I can look at it, but 2% is pretty good. You know, you're all right there, considering the fact cost that we'd have to add in. It just would, no, actually, yeah, it kind of complicates it because we would be doing another bond issue for the SRF. I'd be willing to look at it, but since you haven't really made any payments, probably best to just leave it.
Yeah.
It's that close, but thank you. The Oaks issues had 4 and 5% coupons because they were out from 2010, 2011.
USDA.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
I'm going to leave, Monty, I think I scanned these to you. It's the 2 agreements that need a signature. They're just for my file. The SEC requires that I have those in my file if we get audited. That says I did tell you about the underwriting and explained our responsibilities. So it's a non-binding agreement. Just sign them, send them back, and I can actually start doing what I'm ready to do. We good? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks,
I'm going to
Mike.
get started.
Okay, now we have the engineer's report.
So, one thing I'm really gonna talk about on my list here is the water system project. So we've been working on plans. At a high level, we're trying to complete plans by the April meeting, and then at that time we'll, ask for your guys' approval of plans, authorization to bid, we'll advertise, we'll bid, we'll work a contract, and we'll build. That's the idea. It's probably a year-long construction project. I doubt that'll be completed this summer. All this is assuming we get good bids and everything's within budget and approved by the State Water Commission and all that stuff. So we're working pretty hard to get that done by April. We've got 2 sub-consultants on this, 3 sub-consultants on this. We've got a geotechnical engineer, structural engineer, and electrical engineer. So a lot of coordinating. We've had 1 design meeting. I sent the minutes up for that. We're probably going to have another design meeting coming up here in the next week or so. That one I'd like to do video conferencing so I can include the other consultants in that. So they don't drive from wherever they're coming from. So it'll probably be during the day. A lot of times we're just kind of going through design assumptions so everybody follows us so they don't get out there and say, why the heck do we do things this way? So I like to do it just to keep everybody on the same page. So I'll invite whoever can listen in, participate however you want. I'll probably mostly lead that conversation. One thing we will be talking about is controls for that lift station. So Dan, probably want to talk a little bit about that. There's different brains that you can do. There's radios, there's cell phone links, then there's internet links, and you might want to do a little more, a little less now because we got some cost share involved. So you've got controls for other parts, and you can do things cheap, but if you want to do a little more right now and get a little more bang for the buck by using the cost share, we can talk that through. So that's just a little something that kind of we're working through here. Funding for the project has 3 sources. We got State Water Commission money, we got most of the Prairie Dog. The last one, I know I've been kind of just talking with Monty about it, that I was going to bug you guys, is that we're going to need the local cost share, and kind of 3 options. If you have the money, you can pay for it. If you need a loan, we'll either do a public loan, which would be through the SRF program, or a private loan through what are they now?
Colliers.
Anything's fine. You don't have to decide right now, but we do have to know before we bid it. Because if we're going to bid it, we have to include that. Most likely we'd use the SRF program, which is the public option to the Bank of North Dakota. We got to include all their requirements in it. So you guys just need to decide before we approve plans how we're going to do that local share. Doesn't matter to us. Everything right now is going through, our invoices, whoever's invoices are going through the bank, through the State Water Commission. They should be funding 60% of stuff. So just to comment there, if you see invoices on your plans, those will be getting submitted for reimbursement. I left 4 sets of the plans. These are probably 75% plans. Left them in the office. You guys can take them and look at them, comment on them. It says draft on them, so there probably is some mistakes on there that you'll catch. But it wasn't my intent to page through these at a city commission meeting. Just leave them for you, and we'll have as many design meetings as you want. Dave, I was just going to pick a day, and we'll just do it over the computer, or if you want me to come back out, sit here with you. Do it in 2 weeks or a month too. But
What are you guys using for a platform?
for
A meeting?
Teams, probably, or Zoom. Whatever you want. Whatever works in here.
Both of them.
Well, okay. I have no approvals, just an update. I think the plans are going fine. I haven't run into any major things. I might want to bid one thing as an alternate, a little bit more water main if we can get it squeezed in. I think it'd be a good time to do it and connect another dead end water main in the process. But otherwise, there's been no scope creep where we've added and subtracted different things. So, any questions? No? Nancy? Okay. I'll stick around, but this is Grant Doctor. He's engineering training, more engineering, so he's tagging along to a lot of these meetings right now. So you might see him up here. He did some inspection in 2018 with John out here during the street project, so he knows Hazen pretty well.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, request of citizens, irrigation well for Parks and Rec.
Okay. I thought Dan was gonna be here. They did talk about it at their meeting as to what kind of footprint they wanted, and if they were gonna purchase land. They are, as I said in the notes, they are going back and visiting with the current owner one more time to see if they can resolve it with him and not have to do the relocation. So I guess at this point, we'll just
hold
kind of
tight.
wait for them.
Okay.
I did let them know, as I indicated in the notes, our current valuation on commercial land is $1.88 per square foot. So that's what I would suggest we look at. If we do transfer land to them, that's what we should be looking at for value.
Okay.
So on that price tag of $1.88, is that just for dirt land, or is that for,
That's just land, yeah.
so it's not like, like the paved, I guess, like parts?
No, that's just land. well, we have all of our commercial properties for land without parking or pavement or concrete, yeah. Because they would be cutting most of that pavement out anyway to do that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had to pay for it
Yeah,
before it ends.
yeah, yeah.
So we may want to look at it a little bit more for that.
Yeah.
That's up to you guys.
Okay. Okay, we will move on to commercial building permit. That's with Union State Bank.
Yeah, Matt dropped off these two permits. They're completing some more remodeling work at Union State Bank. The first one is for the interior of the main bank. The stuff highlighted in yellow. There are no real walls other than where this bathroom is going to be located. Everything else is just going to be the glass partitions that they've used in the other areas of the building. So, but since it is a commercial permit or commercial structure, they do need approval by the board to proceed.
No need for any variances or anything.
No.
Make a motion to approve the building permit. We doing them separate or for the
It's up to
interior?
you. I can pull up the other one here is for renovations to the auto bank. They're putting more offices in there and partitioning some of that off. Again, those are just my understanding. They're just going to be the clear glass type partitions for those offices. And they will be redoing the canopy as well, actually removing the one that's there and putting a new canopy up.
I'll make a motion to approve the building permit for both projects noted, or Western Steel, excuse me.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call?
Pillar.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. We're down to reports. Dan?
Dave, you want to share you said the garbage truck, between last meeting and this meeting here went in for some additional warranty work up there in Bismarck?
Yeah, they had some battery cables that needed to be replaced on a recall. That was done, and had some wiring issues with one of the headlights, plug-in and stuff burned up when they replaced and repaired all of that, so.
Okay.
We got it back the same day. Everything was good.
And we talked a little bit about the street up there where we've had some freeze-up situations. So far, so good. Maybe shouldn't say anything out loud. So we're assuming, I haven't seen water bills to know, but we're assuming that they're trickling water up there. Again, sometime between now and spring, we'll need to set up a meeting with those citizens to have some discussion on the financing aspect of it. That's it.
Okay. Casey?
Not anything this time.
Okay. And I have nothing with the police, fire, and forestry at this time. HCD?
I'll take a pass.
You're good. Okay, we're gonna move on to correspondence, the representation letter from Rath and Mayor.
This is all completed with each of their annual audits. Just as I stated in the notes, just representing that we've provided all the documents they requested. There are no pending litigation things that we've received notice of.
Does this require any action from the board?
I'd like your approval to have Jerry sign it.
Make a motion to do just that.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Pillar.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. Moving on to old business. Property demo.
There is a propane tank at that property we acquired. Found out this evening now that the previous owner is deceased, so I don't know if there was anything that Pat had found as far as whose property that actually is, since it was privately owned tank.
Well, most states consider
propane tanks as fixtures, just as they would consider a furnace or
Okay.
any other part of the house as a fixture. North Dakota, in our definition of real property, also includes those types of objects, so I would proceed as though it's a fixture and do with it as you will.
Okay.
So right now, we're waiting for some asbestos remediation, and then we will go out
Yeah. Yeah.
scheduling demolition.
Yeah, because of the weather, they rescheduled the asbestos abatement. He'll be down, sounds like.
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday now?
Thursday it is now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll be down, once we have that report, in case there is stuff that, would have to be addressed during demolition, we'll let, Sletton and Schwartz and whoever else we can think of rebid it.
And it's for the propane tank, so then that would be something that we would look at reselling?
Yeah,
Or
we'll contact, Dave did contact both the fitter and Cenex, and did receive offers to purchase that back, so.
Okay.
I don't know, since it's under a couple $1,000s, if we'd have to advertise, or,
You think it has that much value?
no. No, it's well under $2,000.
Yeah. You can find a private buyer, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we are waiting until demolition is all complete, and then we will market that property.
yes.
Okay, moving on to new business, Partners in Planning Grant.
This is a grant through the North Dakota Department of Commerce on their Main Street initiative, proposing to submit this to address our comprehensive plan, which was developed in 2012, so it is getting quite old. I'd like to update that and then include the economic development diversification strategy, depending on how some of the area industry goes over the next several years. We may want to look at some options there. I had put in here that we're requesting the entire amount, $30,000. I may change that a little bit. I spoke with Scott Armstead at SRF, and he said basically they did one of these out west with several input meetings for the public, and it was around $35,000 to $38,000. So I'll probably reduce my request by at least $5,000 so that we're not trying to take all of their money.
And do we need to do any action on this, or is this just something you'll
We'll
be sending in?
submit it, and
Okay.
if we, obviously if we get money, there will be an agreement then that we'll have to address.
Okay, then we have the 2020 budget amendments.
In conjunction with our audit, I did develop these amendments. As stated, we're amending revenues by $974,000 over what we had estimated. And we are amending the expenditures by $385,000. Some of that had to do with the truck purchase for the garbage fund, the fees that we hadn't addressed as far as water utility, and then the unbudgeted cost to close out that street project with the advertising and some more of the engineering and stuff were the main reasons our expenditures exceeded our estimates.
So the amendment says we're gonna bring in more money than we're gonna spit out.
We actually received more money than, which, as we discuss every budget session, my revenue budget is usually on the lean side compared to the expenditure budget, so.
Move to approve the 2020 amendments.
I'll second that.
There is a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If none, roll call.
Stern,
Aye.
Hiller,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye. Motion carried. Now the North Dakota Wellness Service Agreement.
Under the Public Health Insurance Trust that we joined last year, they are offering the wellness services through Thriver and Blue Cross Blue Shield. Basically, if employees participate and comply or meet all the requirements for the wellness benefit, they do receive up to $250 for the employee and their spouse. And those costs would actually come back to the city then. They would receive the benefit, but the city would be responsible to reimburse that cost back to the Public Health Insurance Trust. It's a good program. It's a little incentive for everybody to try and stay healthy, yeah. And I don't know if Pat had any comments on it. It's
I think it's a good program,
pretty much boilerplate agreement.
if people use it.
Yeah.
Make a motion to offer this program up to our city employees that qualify for it.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
So then Monty, I guess like right now, our premiums are then, I guess, based off of what we spent as a group, right? On I guess, like medical.
Yeah, our premiums are still based on our risk and demographics for our group, yeah.
So is this program gonna make that premium go down, or?
It'll all depend on how many are actually using it, what actual benefit we see. There is a possibility that our increase would be less because as they put in under the North Dakota Public Health Insurance Trust, they propose a 3% increase every year. So that might affect that a little bit, but I can't see a lot, honestly.
Yeah. Well, Monty, wasn't there something about a 1% decrease?
Yeah, there is a possibility under this if there's enough participation. Yeah, you can get a 1% premium discount on this.
So you have to sell it.
Have to sell
Okay. Did we do the motion on this one already?
it. Yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember. There's no other new business?
Well, we gotta vote.
Your vote
We gotta vote first.
Oh, the roll call?
Yeah.
Okay, roll call.
Miller,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. If there's no other new business?
If it's okay, I'll give my report now.
I thought of something after I saw Monty's note on planning grant. So, I had a conversation with one of the main gals from the Department of Commerce, and she was sharing with me the fact that Commerce actually has a separate pool of money in addition to where the grant is going to come from, that we're going to do the local planning grant. And they want to actually look at, to see if there was an entity or a group of people in Mercer County that were really interested in looking at the coal factor things in general and look at some future planning. So one of the suggestions that I gave her at the time is that I said that it sounds to me like this would be a perfect opportunity for our Mercer County Economic Development Group to take the lead on something like this. And Beaver Brinkman is the president of our MECAD group. So I had a conversation with Beaver. And this gal had already visited with him about the project as well. So we are going to have an initial meeting Thursday. I believe it's the 25th, Monty, if you want to look at the calendar behind you. Yeah. At 4 o'clock over in Beulah to listen to what the Department of Commerce has to offer relative to what we might be able to do. And of course, one of my things always has been with planning grants and whatever is that we need, in my opinion, we need somebody that has a lot more knowledge than we have locally relative to what we can look at moving ahead. And, we need to look ahead in terms of whether that would be 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road. And and what might become of coal and all of those kinds of things. So I think this could provide a real good opportunity for us countywide. And I even said, to me, this reaches beyond the county. This reaches to McLean County. This is a big deal. And I think if we could lead the chargers and get something moving in the right direction, at least have some planning in terms of where things are at. And, maybe, I don't know, I'll say this somewhat optimistically, maybe after we really dig into it, maybe the future of coal is not necessarily the doom and gloom that some folks might think it is destined to be. But we don't know that as of yet, as we move forward. So I just wanted to let you folks know that. I know that Jerry is on the MCED board. One of the things is we haven't had the superintendents as part of the MCED board, but I suggested to Beaver that they get invited because, they get a lot of dollars from coal as well, and it's a big income source for them. So we'll see. And, of course, those MCED meetings, they're open to the public. So, if anybody wants to come, all I would suggest is that you do is because of some of the social distancing stuff, just so Beaver would know that how many to plan for. It's going to be at the Civic Center, so they're going to have enough, they'll be able to do enough spacing for audience and whatever. So, questions? Okay, I'm done now.
There we go. Thanks, Buster. Approval of the bills.
So I got a question on the bills, on the Commerce, Center. Why is there so many bills on there for us?
Commerce.
Moving snow, I think, and then,
Oh, those were old ones. Those were old ones. They shouldn't have pulled because they were when we were tracking the HCD funds on our system.
okay,
When I rolled everything over, now they pulled back on. So that's,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
they'll be removed. They're not,
Okay.
they're not ours.
So, okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah, that's why they're from the period of January of
Yeah, that's what I was
2015.
wondering, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Move to approve the bills.
No, second that.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? If none, roll call.
Stern.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye. Motion carried. If there is no other business, we'll adjourn the meeting.